Welcome to the MrpTech podcast. This is episode number 11, and my name is Matt. This is a weekly podcast where I review multiple platforms and technologies to see which works best for you. If this is the first time you're listening, or if you've been listening for the last few weeks, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes to help us get more listeners and to help us provide more to our ever-growing community. In last week's episode, we talked quite a bit about Ubuntu 16.04. I gave my review on that. And I also talked a little bit about Apple updates and how annoying those updates can be when you are in a production environment and you are constantly being badgered about updates. And this week we're going to talk about some very different topics this week. This week we're going to talk about Windows 7 and the upgrade process to Windows 10. Earlier this week, there have been quite a few articles coming out that were announcements from Microsoft to inform their users that the Windows 10 free upgrade will no longer be offered for free after July 29th. This also means that anybody using Windows 7, and if you have been one of those users who constantly is being reminded that they can upgrade to Windows 10, Microsoft is promising that those announcements will no longer be happening after July 29th. And after that date, Windows will be available for $119. So if you're one of those people who have stuck with Windows 7, and you have listened to some of my previous reviews on Windows 10 and some of my concerns with Windows 10, you have an option. Do you choose to upgrade or do you choose to stay with Windows 7? Today we're going to put some of those issues with Windows 10 that I had aside pertaining to some of the privacy issues with Windows 10, and we're just going to talk about how to upgrade to Windows 10 for those who are still thinking of doing this. So first of all, what do you need in order to upgrade to Windows 10? Okay, there's a few things that you're going to need. And the first thing that you're going to need is an actual activated copy of Windows. And make sure that your legitimate copy of Windows is activated. And you're going to need a Windows 10 upgrade tool. So one of the things that I have gone to is Microsoft.com/Windows 10. And you're going to look for an upgrade option. If your computer is able to be upgraded, you will then be prompted to download a small .exe file. And when you do that, when you install this file, the Windows 10 upgrade will proceed. So the first thing that's going to pop up is, what would you like to do? Do you want to upgrade this PC now, or do you want to create installation media for another computer? After you approve the licensing agreement, everything will be downloaded to your computer, and it may take a while to do, and it will tell you that Windows 10 is ready to install. The standard option is to keep all of your personal files and apps that can be kept in Windows 10. And if you'd like to, you can change your options, and you can change what you want to keep. You could keep your personal files and apps, you can keep your personal files only, or you can keep nothing and everything will be deleted and you'll just get a fresh install of Windows 10. Now, what I would recommend that you back up all of your files, your photos, and anything else that you want to keep on an external hard drive, and then I would probably opt for a clean install and keep nothing. Then you can add your files and software. Unless you don't have physical access to the software that's on your computer right now, then you may want to keep your apps. But if you have access to all of your software still, I would do a fresh install of Windows 10. Fresh installs tend to work better than actual upgrades. Here I'm talking primarily from Windows 7 to Windows 10. If you are making this upgrade, once you have completed the upgrade, if you find that you're not liking Windows 10, for 1 month after your upgrade, you can revert back to Windows 7. After that, you're stuck with Windows 10 forever. Once Windows 10 is installed, then it'll bring you through some customizable settings. It'll explain a couple of things for you. It'll probably restart your computer 3 to 4 times, depending on exactly what needs to be done on your machine. Let's talk about who should upgrade to Windows 7. So if you have an older computer, older meaning older than 5 years old, something that ran XP or Vista, you're probably not going to be able to upgrade to Windows 10. You may be able to install Windows 10 with media, but you're not actually going to be upgrading the easy way that most users who are using Windows 7 and above can do. So if you're using a really old computer, older than 5 years old, if you have a Windows 7 computer that's older than 5 years old, my recommendation would be to stay on Windows 7. You are getting to the point you have an aging computer, and yes, it is a free upgrade to Windows 7, but at some point in time you're going to have to replace your computer anyway, and when you do that, if you're a Windows user, your new machine is going to come with Windows 10 on it, and you will not have any problems activating that license. If you're on an older computer, you might as well stay on Windows 7. If you have a newer computer and you have more modern hardware, more modern processors or RAM, that type of thing, you have a lot more RAM, then maybe you would want to consider upgrading. And the reason for that is because Windows 7 is not getting any new features at this point. As of January 2015, Windows 7 is now complete, and the only thing that's being added to Windows 7 is security fixes. And those security fixes will continue until January 2020. Windows 10, since it's newer, will be supported much longer. So you can upgrade to Windows 10, and you will be able to use this computer for a few more years after that. So aside from the privacy concerns that I mentioned in previous episodes or previous videos that I have done, a Windows 7 to 10 upgrade might be something worthwhile to do if you want a machine to be used in the future for more years. If you want a machine to have some longevity to it, then you might want to consider upgrading using your free upgrade now before July 29th. You can always upgrade after, but you are going to have to pay the fee for it. So why is Microsoft doing this? There are various reasons why they're doing this. First of all, one of the things that they wanted to do, they wanted to avoid the Windows 8 situation, where Windows 8 adoption did not go nearly as well as they had wanted it to. So by forcing these Windows upgrade notifications and skipping Windows 9 entirely and going for the perfect 10 advertising scheme that they used, they wanted to make sure Windows 10 was received well in the public, and they wanted to make sure that the amount of users who upgraded was much higher than from Windows 7 to Windows 8 upgrades. So, and I think they've succeeded with that. Windows 10 adoption has been much higher than Windows 8 adoption. And I think they've avoided the whole catastrophe in the media that they were so worried about. But now that that's over, they do want to continue to go back to the paradigm that they were at before, where your operating system isn't free. You have to pay for your upgrades. And whether or not that's the right way or the wrong way isn't really something we're going to discuss here. But they are going back to selling their operating system and selling the software. They're selling hardware and other aspects now. They're selling the Surface Pro tablets that are being well received. And they're trying to get more into the Windows Phone market. So there's a lot of things that they're trying here. And Windows 10 has been pretty well received for the most part. And even in the news now, you're starting to see Windows take a few back steps on some of the features that were questionable in Windows 10. For instance, the Wi-Fi sharing feature will soon be disabled, and that was a feature where anyone coming to your house could automatically connect to your Wi-Fi without the use of your password. If they were on your network, then they could connect and they wouldn't need your password. And that feature is now being removed within the next few updates. And if you're also thinking about updating to Windows 10 or upgrading to Windows 10, there is a major release coming probably in the middle of July, probably around July 29th, where this would be the 1-year release of Windows 10, and many, many new features are going to be coming out with that release. So if you want all of those new features, or if you're interested in trying something new, now would be a time to upgrade before the price tag comes with it. So I'm going to experiment with upgrading. I have a Windows 7 license that I'm going to upgrade to Windows 10 this week, and I'm going to go through this whole process, and I'll report back next week to see how easy, how difficult it was, and if there's anything to watch out for. Since we're talking about Windows this week, I want to talk about, I usually give an app pick, and this week I'm going to, my app pick is sort of a multiple app pick all combined into one. And to set this up, I want to talk about a little story that happened to me actually earlier this morning. At the school that I work at, there was a teacher who was trying to learn how to use Audacity for a very specific function in their classroom. And I'm not going to discuss what it is that they wanted to do, but they just wanted to learn how to use Audacity really quickly with a microphone, and they had some problems with a microphone setup with Audacity. And I use Audacity all the time, so I was quite familiar with it. So I went to my school computer and I tried to plug my microphone in, and I realized I didn't have Audacity installed on this school computer. But then I realized that a while back I had created a way that I could use this software if I needed it on any computer. And we're going to talk about portable apps today. What portable apps are is a portable app is a computer program that you can carry around with you on a portable device like a USB drive or a portable hard drive. And this allows you to access the software that you need, your personal data, just like it was your own computer, and you plug it into your computer that you want to use, and none of your personal data is left behind. So you don't need anything special. It's just a USB drive that you would need. And depending on how many of these portable apps that you want to install, you can pick a flash drive that you have sitting around, maybe 1 or 2 gigs, or you can have a much larger flash drive that you install a bunch of these portable apps on. And that's exactly what I do. I have a flash drive, I think it's a 16 gigabyte flash drive, and I have a ton of portable apps. And if you've never heard of a portable app before, they're really neat to use. So for instance, let's say your computer at work only has Internet Explorer on it, and you can't install Firefox or Chrome on it. Well, there's a portable app that's the Firefox browser or the Google Chrome browser, and you can install it on a flash drive and use it as you would your normal browser. So you would double click on it. Sometimes it takes a few seconds for it to load off of the flash drive, but once it's open, it's just like the software that you use every day. You can move from computer to computer, and as your drive letter changes in Windows, it's still going to work. It's self-contained, so all the subdirectories and files within are going to stay with it. And you can just keep your productivity on the go, basically. So I had Audacity as a portable app. I plugged this USB drive into my computer. I plugged the microphone that we were having problems with into the computer. And sure enough, it was just a small setting that needed to be checked off in order for the microphone to work correctly. And once we got the microphone worked, he realized what he needed to do, and he was on his way. And I was able to help somebody just by having this portable app on a USB drive. This is something that I carry with me most everywhere I go, because you never know when you're able to help somebody fix a very common problem or a very easy problem just from your own experiences. So with these portable apps, basically what you do is you go to portableapps.com, and you're going to download the software for your USB drive, and you're going to install it just like you would a Windows program. You're going to install it onto your flash drive, and from there you can download any apps that interest you. So I have, off the top of my head, just to give you some examples, there's a Google Chrome portable app, Firefox portable app. There's a photo editor called GIMP that I use occasionally. I have that as a portable app. I use VLC as a portable app. We've mentioned that before in this podcast. Audacity is a portable app. There are literally hundreds of portable apps. And I probably have 30 or 40 that I very rarely use on a flash drive. But occasionally I run into this problem. Now, one thing that you won't be able to do if your computer requires an administrator to run certain software, you're not going to be able to use that software with a portable app. You're still going to need to use the administrator password in order to give access to the computer and to get done what needs to be done. But for most apps, you don't have that problem. And as I mentioned, there's last week, our app pick last week, UNetbootin, that is also available in a portable app. Tons of different apps out there, and they're all available at portableapps.com. There are other sites as well that do this, but this is the one that I tend to stick to. And once you open your USB drive, there's a little start button, and you double click on start, and a portable apps screen, almost like a start menu, will pop up on your desktop, and it'll show you all the apps that you have available. And you need to take the files, the portable apps that you downloaded, and just import them. And you can very easily add these apps to your portable apps USB drive. Once you do that, they are very easily available to you anytime that you want to use them. They will be constantly updated. So, for instance, security issues with Firefox and Chrome are constantly updated. The more that you use it, if you plug in your USB drive, it will ask you, would you like to update these apps now? If you click yes, then you will run your updates and you will have the most recent version of that portable app. So this is a great tool for anybody who might need a specific set of software that you can't install on a computer. You could use something like Thunderbird, which is an email client. You can use LibreOffice. You can use CD burning software that's available in portable apps, or CD ripping software. There's a ton of different portable apps out there, and they are all great if you are moving from computer to computer, Windows computer to Windows computer. So since we're talking about Windows today, I thought I'd bring that up as sort of an interesting little tidbit that might help someone out there who moves from computer to computer. Maybe it's your home computer to a work computer, or to several different computers that you interact with on a daily basis. So portable apps are something that I use occasionally, and I hope you really take a look at those. And if you would like any help setting up a portable app on a USB drive, I would be certainly glad to do that. You can send me an email, mrptechreviews@gmail.com. Visit our Facebook page. It's called MrpTech Reviews. You can also visit our website, mrptechreviews.wix.com/home, and send me some feedbacks. Give me some ideas for future shows. If you are liking certain topics that I talk about, or dislike any topics that I talk about, let me know, and I will gear this podcast more towards what you want to listen to. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.